So we could start. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to see you all. It's like, what a dream to see so many people that I know from all different types. It is super weird to speak to computers. So for those of you that put video, I'm very grateful because then it's like I'm speaking more to a real person. So before we start, I want to say that this class and the whole SCA Learning Day is Refuah Shelemah for Shlomo Ben Shoshana and for anyone else that's sick and needs refuah. Okay. So we're going to start out with a game. So I hope everyone likes to play a game. And I'm also going to say that I'm used to the tours that I give. People ask me, so what ages? I've never had given a tour that is one age. It goes from age 2 to age 70 plus. So the things that I say, certain people might know it already if you're older. But even if not, I think that there's something new that everyone could learn. I don't know how to mute everybody. Sam, mute everyone.
They're all muted. They're all muted.
Okay, good. Okay, fine. Okay, perfect. So we're going to start with a game. I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to, the first part is just a little bit of trivia to see what we know about Israel. And then we're going to get into the main area of Jerusalem that I want to tour and play, okay? Because I can't hear any of you. Well, if you're going to see the questions that I ask you, you're going to write the answer in the chat, okay? So just write it and then I'll see what you guys want to say. So let me open it and let me figure out how to do share screen. Sam, how do I share screen?
In the middle on the bottom, the green.
Okay. Oh, I see that. Okay, easy enough. Okay. So. Share. Okay, do you see my screen? Okay, does everyone see my screen? Just nod your heads because then I could, okay, yes, that's it. Yes, okay, so the game it's called Guess Where. Apparently it's a real game. I thought there was only Guess Who, and then I thought Guess Where was a better name for what we're about to do. So I Googled Guess Where and it exists as a real thing. So I'm going to show you a picture and in the chat, just write what you think it is. Wait, hold on. Wait. 1 minute. Oh, here it is. Okay, ready? What or where is this wall, if you think you know what it is? Hold on. I just have a minute. I don't know how to now look at the chat at the same time. Oh, I think I figured it out. Okay. So I see the guess that's the kotel. It looks a lot like the kotel. This, in fact, is, any other guesses? I see someone got it. You could either do it to me probably or to everyone. It's fine. So now this looks like the kotel. I would have thought it was the kotel upon first glance. This is actually Ma'arat HaMachpelah. The woman, she's standing right over here where my mouse is, and it's a side of Ma'arat HaMachpelah. Okay. Another one. What is this wall? Anyone know what it is? Right in the chat, so I could see you guessing. This. You guys, I'm sure I've seen this wall before. Okay, I see more guesses. The kotel, Old City Wall, Wall of Jerusalem, kotel, kotel katan, kotel. Okay, now this looks a lot like the kotel. However, it's actually not a part of the kotel. This is part of something known as Metzudat David. This section here where you see the mouse, this is what I showed you. And just to put it into context, you all know what it is if you've been to Israel before. So if you guys see over here where the flags are, behind that is what I showed you with this section, okay? Right when you come through the Sha'ar Yafo, you see the Old City Walls, this is what you're looking at. Now, the reason why now here's the last guess who, and then we're gonna move topics. What is this that we're looking at? Kotel. You guys sure? You thought the other things were the kotel. Okay, well, this is the kotel, finally. Now, the reason why you all thought the other things were the kotel as well is because they all were built by the same builder. So you have here the kotel, Me'arat HaMachpelah, not the actual Me'arat, because we know that was bought by Abraham Avinu, but the building we have now, and this section over here, part of Mitzvah David, this was all built by Herod the Great, okay? So the same builder, it looks like the same kind of thing. So now this is just a fun trivia about what Herod built in Israel. Now, why am I bringing up Herod? Because what we're going to talk about today is the focus is going to be what is behind the kotel. The kotel that you guys all identified, what's behind it? Specifically, what's this area over here, the Golden Dome? What is it? Who built it? What's inside it? And while we're asking those questions, I don't know if anyone ever wondered, what's that wooden bridge? We're going to also answer that, what that wooden bridge is. And while we're at it, the gray dome, what is that gray dome? Who built it? From when? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you know the answers already, you could write it in the chat because I'd love hearing when people already know. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, so what are some names for this place? So we saw this golden dome in the corner behind the kotel. Does anyone know any names for this, what you guys are looking at? So write it in the chat so I could see what you guys know so far. Wait, just to get to the chat. Okay, so Har HaBayit, Dome of the Rock, Golden Kippah. Okay, so I'm going to share now this over here. It has a few names. We have one is the Dome of the Rock, or in Hebrew, Kippah HaSela, Kippah meaning dome, Sela meaning rock. Har HaBayit, as my favorite one to call it, or the Temple Mount. Now, years ago, I was very curious as to what was inside. So I said, you know what, I don't think I'm ever going to get inside. One, because you're not allowed inside halachically. So I said, how am I going to know what's inside? I'm so curious. So I Googled imaged and I said, what is inside this golden dome? And I'm going to share that with you. What is inside over here is a rock, as it's called, Dome of the Rock. Now I'm going to show you another picture so you could get a better perspective. Here we kind of took a slice out of the Golden Dome, and here's a rock over here, and that's why it's called Dome of the Rock. Now it must be a pretty special rock if it has the whole entire dome. So does anyone know, think back to the earliest thing you could think of, could anyone think of anything really, really special that happened on this rock? So write the answers in the chat, please. Okay, so we have the answer I'm getting, Akedat Yitzchak. There's actually, according to Jewish tradition holds that there's something that predated Akedat Yitzchak. This stone over here is known in Hebrew as Even HaShtiyah, or Even HaShtiyah, the foundation stone. The foundation stone that what? According to Jewish tradition, right over here, this stone was the foundation stone upon which the world was created, where also Akedat Yitzchak happened. And according to the Midrash, Yaakov's dream happened there as well. And then later on, what was built there, where this rock is. So if we go to the next slide, the Beit HaMikdash. So we have all these things all built on that rock, which right now is under the Golden Dome. So we have, so here's the Beit HaMikdash. Now, I just want to show you, if we look at the inside, we have the Kodesh HaKodashim, where the Aron was, and the Kodesh. Now, the Kodesh HaKodashim, we have the Aron, and inside we have the Luchot. And this section over here is what we believe is where the dome is, where the dome is and where that rock is. Now, the whole Beit HaMikdash was there, and I'm going to show you pictures about basically where we think it is. But the Kodesh HaKodashim, which is the holiest place in the whole Beit HaMikdash, was on that area. Now, here, I love this picture. I have to share it with you. Here's an artist's rendition of what they think the future Beit HaMikdash is going to look like. Now, you'll notice the light rail on the bottom, and you'll notice the cable car. When the artist made this cable car, I don't think he knew that this was actually a plan, but literally you could look it up online. There are actual plans right now in Israel. They are building a cable car to go through the Kotel. So it's really not far from the truth. And if anyone has been to Israel recently, there's a lot of construction by the steps. When you go down to the steps, everyone like swishes because the steps aren't big and wide, because they're actually building an elevator there, because it's not really so accessible to people that have trouble walking, or if you have strollers and you have to carry them up and down the steps. So they're building an elevator, and they're building a cable car. And it's just really cool that this idea, we're not even so far off of what the Beit HaMikdash of the future might look like. I have another really cool picture that I want to show you guys. This, it has a perspective, they caught it really interestingly. This was taken from the roof of Esh HaTorah building. If you guys are familiar, it overlooks the Kotel. And you see the crane, and the Beit HaMikdash literally is if they're going to take the Beit HaMikdash and put it onto Har HaBayit. So this is just a cool picture I wanted to share with you guys. So we know the Beit HaMikdash used to stand there. Now, okay, to summarize, because this is important. So what happened? We have foundation stone for the creation of the world. Akedah Yitzchak, first Beit HaMikdash, second Beit HaMikdash, Yaakov's dream according to the Midrash. Now, when I go to the Kotel and pray, I myself don't actually like going up to the wall so much. I like stepping back a little bit, because I like reminding myself that really the focus is not the Kotel. The Kotel was built by Herod the Great, as we saw in the beginning. It was a wall that surrounded the Beit HaMikdash. It wasn't actually a part of the Beit HaMikdash. And back in the time of when it was built, it was a marketplace, and people didn't think that it was important, because why would it be important when you could go to the actual Beit HaMikdash? So when I pray, I like standing back because I like having a view of the dome. So I remember that the main part of why we're coming here is not for the Kotel, it's for what is behind it. And on remembering what's important, so I'll cite in a few sentences. In 1967, we regained control of the whole old city, and there's a really famous line, Har HaBayit beyadenu, and we got control of everything. And like the strange that we get control of Har HaBayit, and then they go and pray by the Kotel. But you got Har HaBayit, which is the main thing, so why are you going to the Kotel? So it could be that they didn't recognize the importance, or just from years and years and years of people praying by the Kotel, that's what they did. And what the situation is today, could we go to Har HaBayit, could we not? So that's one of the things we're going to answer. But I just wanted everyone to understand what happened, where the Golden Dome was, where Har HaBayit was. Okay. Here, if you guys see that mountain, this is what it originally looked like. We know Abraham did Akedah Yitzchak on Har HaMoriah. And then we have the first bit, we have the Beit HaMikdash. Now, Herod, if you guys see, let me go back a minute. If you want to build more, well, if you build on the top of the mountain, then things are going to fall off. You need to make a bigger area. So that's the reason why the Kotel was built. What happened is Herod wanted to make the Beit HaMikdash bigger and more beautiful. And so these walls that you see Kotel, they weren't always around the mountain. It was only when he added them in. So he added the walls to hold in the dirt so we could have a bigger area. So then we have the Beit HaMikdash, which is on the whole area. And then we have the Golden Dome of today. Okay. What is on Har HaBayit today? What's the Muslims' traditions? Who could go inside? Who can't go inside? So let's start with the gold on top, okay? It's really nice and shiny, and you could see it from a lot of different areas. So in 1994, King Abdullah of Jordan, he donated 150 kilos of gold to Har HaBayit. Before it was made of aluminum, and it's plated with gold. It's aluminum plated with gold. And this area today is under control of the Muslim Waqf, which is like their authority, and only Muslims could go in. Now, if a non-Muslim is in the general area, there's literally a test. If he wants to go inside the building, the Waqf will start asking questions on the Quran, and if he doesn't pass the test, he can't go in. So I always thought how not fair that was, because let's say the same way you have Jews that don't know so much about Judaism, you might have Muslims that don't know so much about Islam. and you have to know your stuff if you want to go in. So this is only if you're Muslim are you allowed to go in. Now, as Jewish people, we would never go inside because that's where the Kodesh HaKodeshim was. So we know the Kohen Gadol only Yom Kippur went in, so we can go in. But I want to tell you something. This isn't really their holiest site. This isn't a mosque. It's a shrine. Their mosque, which the holier area for them is, if we go back to the original picture, if you guys look at the mosque on the right in gray, so that's the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, what happened in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that's really what's important to the Muslims. So I'm going to show you another picture so you guys could say. So here's Har HaBayit and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And according to the Islamic tradition, Muhammad, who is a prophet, he rode on a winged horse to the area of Har HaBayit, and he went up to the sky, and he bargained with God. God was giving him tefillot, and originally God said all Muslims need to pray 50 times a day, and Muhammad bargained him down to 5. And where that happened, so in the Quran, it talks about the mosque, which is on the Qatzeh, which is on the edge. So they say Al-Aqsa, Qatzeh is the same thing. So that happened over there. So this Al-Aqsa Mosque is their main mosque. It's the biggest mosque in Israel. It could seat about 5,000 people. And this is what's really important, not Har HaBayit. The Har HaBayit is a shrine to commemorate it. Also, a fun fact of what another thing to have inside Har HaBayit other than this stone is they actually have a closet, and inside the closet is a hair which they believe came from the beard of Muhammad, which they take out once a year. So a fun fact to know. Also in Akko, they have another mosque where they believe they have another hair that they also take out once a year. So now when Muslims if you Google Al-Aqsa in English, what will actually come up is Har HaBayit, the Golden Dome, even though that's wrong. Because nowadays, due to politics and a whole bunch of other reasons, they call the whole complex Al-Aqsa, and everything is holy to us, and Muhammad went up on all of it. But the tradition slowly, as time goes on, becomes closer and closer and closer towards what our Har HaBayit is. Now, the mosque itself, so if I want to just go back a minute in history. So we have first Beit HaMikdash destroyed by the Babylonians, second Beit HaMikdash destroyed by the Romans. Then for hundreds of years, it's destruction, there's nothing on the Temple Mount. Then in the year 691, Abd al-Malik, he comes and he builds the dome. So that's when we have the dome from his time, from year 691 and until today. That hasn't been destroyed, unlike Al-Aqsa, which has been destroyed a few times due to earthquakes. So really, the important part to the Muslims is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Okay. Are Jews allowed to go up to Har HaBayit? Now, I'm going to say first that I am not a rabbi and I am not a posek. And the answer to this question is, it really depends which rabbi you ask. There are rabbis who are very educated, Talmidei Chachamim, that will say, no way, you can't go up to Har HaBayit. It's the holiest area. You can't even risk it. You can't go to Har HaBayit. No. Then there are other serious Talmidei Chachamim that will say, well, what do you mean? If we open up the Gemara to Masechet Midot and we look in archaeology and we look today at the way things are, we could know exactly where the Beit HaMikdash stood, and we will know what were later additions. So of course we could go up. We'll just be careful where to step and not to go in areas that are forbidden. Now, I've never been up myself, but I am a big supporter because I believe that if we don't go and it's ours, then who's going to go? And I'm going to show you for the Jews that do go up where they stand, and I'm just going to talk about the experience in general. Because I think it's interesting to know what goes on there. It's like the hottest topic in the news. People are always talking about it, and it creates so much political unrest. So let's now, if you believe that you cannot go up to Har HaBayit, your rabbis will know, that's perfectly fine. But I'm just for the next 10 minutes going to go with the notion, let's say you can go up to Har HaBayit as a halachic Jew, okay? So if you guys remember the first picture, that wooden bridge that we have over here, this wooden bridge is actually how you get up to Har HaBayit. There are 10 gates that surround Har HaBayit. 9 out of 10 are used by Muslims and are open to them 24/7. They can go up morning, afternoon, night, any day of the week. There is one gate that non-Muslims can use, and that's this wooden bridge over here. It's called Sha'ar HaMugrabim. And this is only, it's opened certain days of the week, certain hours, and how do you get there? So if you recognize this, this is one of the entrances to go to the Kotel. So you see, it's funny, I'm literally pointing with my hands, like lower, and the camera can't actually see it, but I'll try to point with the mouth. Okay. The wooden bridge, the entrance, if you see this, all the people that are waiting online, so they're waiting online to go up to Had Habayit. And if you look at the people, you notice they're not Jewish. So what are the rules if you want to go up and you're not Jewish? Could you walk how you want, what goes on up there? So I want to talk about all the different kind of people that go up and what the experience is like. So now let's assume first, we'll start with someone non-Jewish. A non-Jewish person, a Christian wants to go up to Had Habayit. Okay, wait, no, I'm going to go back to Muslim. Muslim, I already touched on. I said they could go up any time of day, freely, no one's stopping them, do whatever they want. I have a friend that said he was giving a tour to a couple from America, and the wife was Muslim and the husband wasn't, and they let the wife in walking around, and they let it in him. Now, how they know, what if you want to fake it? They're good. They know who is. So Muslims, free access all the time, whenever they want. Non-Muslim, let's say you're a Christian person going up. Now, if 10 years ago, if you would go up as a Christian or as a Jew that you don't look Jewish, if you come with your American passport and American kippah, pretending you're not Jewish, they don't know. They're not testing you. So what they would do is you can't have any signs of religion. If you had a cross necklace, you would have to put it in your shirt. They would literally check the tour guide's bags to see what they had in their backpacks. If a tour guide had a picture of the Beit HaMikdash, they wouldn't let you bring it up. You can't talk about the Beit HaMikdash. Why? Because according to the Muslims, what do you mean? What Beit HaMikdash? We never had it. So they were very, 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 very strict about what they would let up. That's not the case today. The rules got a lot more lenient. I'm going to talk about what you can do today versus what you wouldn't be able to do. Now, a non-Muslim could walk around freely on top, except they can't go into the dome. So if you're a non-Muslim, you could walk around all over here, but you just can't go into the dome because only Muslims could go in. Okay, now what if you want to go up as a halachic Jew? Well, now assuming you follow rabbis who say you can't go up, you need to go to the mikveh before, because you go into the holiest site ever, you need to be pure. And when you go, there's a very, very strict outline of what people, after tons of research, hold that you can go. Now, it's offense upon offense on offense. There's really no chance someone that is going up as an halachic Jew that keeps the mitzvah is going to walk in an area, because they are walking on areas which they know for sure the Beit HaMikdash was not. So I want to just show you, if you, the red today, well, if you look on the bottom of the blue, that's where the Kotel is. And then the whole red surrounding area, now the Kotel means wall. There are other walls. There's the southern wall. There's the eastern wall. Now, why is only the Kotel where we go and pray? Because it's the closest to the Kodesh HaKodashim. But you could go pray by the southern wall if you want. Now, the whole red is the complex today of what Had Habayit is. Now, we see it says on the side, temple courtyards and the second temple period. So we see how much bigger it got. Now, if you're going up as a Jew that keeps Torah and Mitzvot, where are you walking? So this white dotted line, so now the orientation is switched. If you look at where the purple is, so that's the Kotel, you go up that wooden ramp, and then you walk around the perimeter. So there's no shot that you're walking where the Beit HaMikdash, where the Kodesh HaKodashim once was. You're really, really far away from it. Okay. Now, I'll go back to that. Now, what's it like if you go up there? If you go up as a Jew 10 years ago, you are only allowed to go up 2 people at a time, and there's someone from the Muslim Waqf that's watching your every move. If you pray, they throw you in jail. And it's not a comfortable experience. It's not a fun kind of thing to do. That's what it's like. We're going to our holiest site ever, and you have someone watching you your every move. Now, that was 10 years ago. Also, I will add in, you're not allowed to, they used to not let you bring water up. So the reason why is debatable. I have one friend that said, why did they not let you bring water? Because what do you say before you drink water? You say beracha. They didn't want you to say beracha. Now you can bring water up, and now the rules also got a much more lenient, which I'm going to talk about. Now, when people go up 10 years later, so also just numbers, 10 years ago, 3,000 people would go up the entire year. Now, how many people go up in 2020? 30,000 people. And because so many more people go up, the rules have changed a little bit. What's it like now? So now you go up, and you could go up in groups of 30, and you don't have someone watching your every move. And it's why do you get more lenient? Like why could more people? You used to be, if you used to want to go up, you would have to wait a half hour to an hour until they let you in. Now you can go up right away. Why things change? So a friend who went up 10 years ago said that one of the policemen on this site, they also Jewish policemen, told him, if you guys want the things to change, you just have to want it. You just have to want to come. Because if thousands of people are coming, then naturally we have to make the rules easier, because we have to accommodate all the people. So the secret to things changing is more people wanting it. And I think that's a secret to things changing anywhere in Israel. If we want Yehuda and Shomron, we want Yericho, we want Hebron, we want Shechem, we have to want it. And if so many people want it, there's really power in numbers, then things won't change. Now, when Jews go up today, the experience is still not so awesome, because I'm going to show you a picture now of something that I really get a stomachache from seeing. And they actually have it in videos, which I have, but I didn't share with you because I get too much of a stomachache. If you want to see a video of it, you can Google it. But right here is a picture of someone playing soccer. Very nice. Except what if I told you he's playing soccer on Habait? And literally you go up, and there's kids all the time playing soccer on Har HaBayit. Why are they playing soccer there? Because the area of Har HaBayit is about 1/6 of the old city. And the old city, for anyone that knows, is very cramped, and there's not a lot of open spaces. So they go, hey, Har HaBayit is this nice open space, let's play soccer. And then you ask yourself, and this is a holy site to you, they claim it's holy for them, but you're playing soccer there? So they're playing soccer, and if you Google on YouTube soccer on Har HaBayit, you could see it live, but it's just too hard for me to watch. So I just put this picture. Till today, now it is illegal. You are not allowed to play soccer on Har HaBayit. If the police see you, they will stop it. But why don't they stop it? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but it is illegal. Here's another picture, which also really bothers me. Don't worry, if you bother right now, by the end of the class, which is going to end in a few minutes, you won't be bothered at all. You're going to leave very happy. I wouldn't leave you bothered. So close to Pesach. So you see people just taking a selfie, like it's the holiest place in the world. How are you treating it like that? Now, when you want to read, and we're going towards the end, and then I see there's some questions, I'm going to read some of it. I'm going to try to answer them. So this is a very famous Gemara in Masachet Makot, Daf Kaf Daled Amud Bet, and it says that I'm just gonna, for interest of time, because I know that everyone has half hour and I don't want to be late to next class, so I'm just gonna kind of summarize what it says. It says that the rabbis were going up towards Yerushalayim, and when they got to when they see Kivan Shegiu Har HaBayit, Ra'u Shu'al Sheyatza Mibet Kodesh Kodashim. So they see on the area of Har HaBayit, the foundation stone where Bet HaMikdash once stood, there's a fox walking, and all the rabbis start crying, and Rabbi Akiva starts laughing, and they said, why are you laughing? And he says, why are you crying? And they say, what do you mean, why are we crying? How are we not going to cry? It says, of course we're going to cry. And then what he says, so there's a bunch of prophecies about Har HaBayit, Yerushalayim, Israel, and there's prophecies of destruction. And there's also prophecies of rebuilding. So Rabbi Akiva looks at them and he goes, well, if the prophecies of destruction are coming true, as we see, because there's a fox walking, it's only a matter of time until the prophecies of rebuilding are coming as well. And I said that I'm not going to leave you all upset from what you see. So I want to share some very, very, very good news and show you in the next picture. You guys see the headline. It's December 12th, 2019. And it says, Jewish prayer has returned to the Temple Mount. Now, I told you it used to be if you pray, you get arrested. So what do you mean you all of a sudden now you could pray and no one's getting arrested anymore? So the second I read this article, I have a friend that he's on Harabait almost every day. He gives tours there. So I called him up. I said, is it true? Are people really praying by the Temple Mount? So he said, yes, it's been going on for a year. We have this minyan, and you guys see in the picture on the bottom. Now, no one prays out loud. No one wears tefillin. If you scream Shema Yisrael out loud, they will arrest you. But if we pray quietly, we have a minyan, we say Kaddish, but whispered, we could do it. Now, think of like how amazing that where the Beit HaMikdash once said, everything that we mentioned, what I showed you, the pictures of playing soccer, taking selfies, Jews can't go up, all these restrictions, and now we see that tefillah has returned. And it's all a question of people wanting it and wanting to pray. And hopefully in our days, the tefillah won't just be a silent one where you have to be hushed, and it will be able to be a loud one and people can enjoy and have to be embarrassed or secret about the tefillah. And so that's really good news. And now this day of learning is in honor of Pesach. So I want to read with you from Devarim. 3 פעמים בשנה יראה אחוז זכורך את פני אדוני אלוהיך במקום אשר יבחר בחג המסות ובחג השבועות ובחג הסוכות ולא יראה את פני אדוני לקם איש כמתנת ידו כברכת אדוני אלוהיך אשר נתן לך. So we know that the Jewish people would have a mitzvah to come to Yerushalayim to give Korban Pesach, and every year, I also discussed this with my friend that's the guide on how to buy it. Every year there's someone that gets arrested because he comes with his goat and he tries to give Korban Pesach on Harabai. Now, I told you how strict it is, how much they track. Does he actually think he's going to succeed? And the answer is no. This guy knows he will get arrested every year. But why does he do it? Because he says, I want to be in the news. I want people to know that this is something that's important to me. The Harabai is important. The Korban Pesach is important. So I guess stay tuned for after Pesach to read the headlines of some getting arrested then. But it's good. It all happens from people wanting it and wanting to be behind a bayit, and it's just the change is just incredible and so meaningful and so beautiful. And now here is I called the class, the לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה. And now here's a picture, God willing, of the Beit HaMikdash rebuilt, of the cable car that hopefully the plans will be finished, and the light rail. And now I want to just close with one more slide. So now the next time you come for your trip to Israel, you will be a little bit more prepared, that now we know what the Golden Dome is, who built it, what takes place there, what's it like if you're walking around. We know what this wooden bridge is. And we also know now what this gray mosque is. And really, God willing, Bekarov, we should see the rebuilding of Beit HaMikdash, maybe to do Korban Pesach, and hopefully you'll all come to Israel and we could walk around and enjoy. And I miss you all and wish you were here with me. Eretz Yisrael is really, it's an amazing place. And I ever since I made Aliyah 3.5 years ago, I would thank God every single day that I'm lucky enough to live in this land. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now in light of the whole Corona, I thank God even more, because if there's anywhere in the world that I want to be stuck, it's Eretz Yisrael, because what a blessing. How many Jews throughout history would love to have, I'm stuck in Eretz Yisrael. So I'm really, really very, very grateful for this. And thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. I really, really, really enjoyed. Let me see some of the questions. If anyone needs to go to the next class, feel free. I'm just looking at some of the questions. Okay. The reason we really can't go into how to buy it is because it's too holy. Like it happens to be now the shrine tool, but it really is halachically you can't. Is it safe? Yeah, it's safe, because there's policemen that are. It's really under Jewish jurisdiction, but political reasons, like we're in charge, but not really in charge. So it is safe if you go up. Nothing will happen. And I think that's it. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Adele.
Thank you. I'm so glad you joined. So great to see everyone.
Awesome to hear you. Awesome to see you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Adele.
much.
Can't wait to see
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you. You too.
Be safe.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetie.
Oh, I post. I can't.